power lines coming down.
A massive heat dome is about to swallow more than half of the United States, and wrapped around its edge is a violent, rotating ring of fire of thunderstorms that could turn Independence Day into chaos for tens of millions of Americans. This is your 4th of July weather warning, and you need to hear this before you head out the door. It's Saturday, July 4th, 2026, the 250th anniversary of the United States, and the timing could not be worse. An estimated 72 million Americans are traveling this weekend, and the atmosphere is about to throw heat, flooding downpours, and a brand new tropical threat at almost all of them at once. Somewhere over the Gulf of Mexico right now, a cluster of storms is trying to organize into the next named system of the season, Tropical Storm Bertha. Meanwhile, a scorching heat dome is locking itself over the middle of the country, and it's about to fire off waves of dangerous thunderstorms that will circle around it like water spinning down a drain. Nobody's 4th of July plans are fully safe from this pattern. Before we break this down region by region, where are you watching from tonight? Are you dealing with the heat, the storms, or are you one of the lucky ones sitting under clear skies? Drop your state or city in the comments right now, because I'm going to be tracking this system through the entire holiday weekend, and I want to know exactly who's in the impact zone. This isn't a one-region story. This stretches from the Rockies to the Atlantic coast, and it's going to affect backyard barbecues, beach trips, and fireworks shows in dozens of states. I'm going to walk you through the heat, the storm track, the flooding risk, the tropical development, and even the wildfire smoke that's drifting in from the west. So stay with me through this whole breakdown, because your evening plans might depend on it. Let's start with the engine driving this entire pattern, the heat dome. A sprawling area of high pressure is parked over the central and eastern US right now, and it's pushing temperatures up to 10 degrees above normal for early July, which is already saying something. As the holiday weekend rolls on, the heat dome is expected to shift toward the south-central US, but it's still going to keep the Midwest and East locked in hot, humid, sticky conditions through the 4th. Cities like Chicago, Minneapolis, Denver, Dallas, Nashville, Orlando, and Atlanta are all looking at highs in the 90s. And out in the desert southwest, Las Vegas and Phoenix are forecast to blister past the 100-degree mark. If you're heading to any of these cities for fireworks tonight, hydration and shade are not optional. Not everyone is roasting though. The coolest spots on the map will be the immediate Pacific coast, upstate New York and New England, where highs stay mostly in the 70s to low 80s. Los Angeles is expected near 80, San Francisco near 70. New York City, after several brutal days, cools back to the mid-80s. Washington, D.C. doesn't get off as easy. Highs in the 90s with a chance of an afternoon storm. Now here's where it gets interesting. When you get a heat dome this strong, storms don't just sit still. They get steered around its edge in a rotating pattern. Meteorologists call a ring of fire. Clusters of thunderstorms are expected to move northeastward out of the Rockies into the northern plains, then curl southeastward near the Great Lakes. But farther south, something unusual is happening. Storm clusters are expected to drift from east to west instead of the typical west to east pattern. That's a sign of just how much this heat dome is warping the normal flow of the atmosphere. The stormiest zone on both Friday and Independence Day itself will stretch from parts of Colorado and New Mexico, eastward through the Plains and Gulf Coast states, all the way to Florida and up the Atlantic seaboard. Expect long, dry stretches broken up by sudden, intense downpours and lightning, the kind that can shut down a fireworks show in minutes. Here's the part I really want you to pay attention to. Forecasters are watching the southwestern Atlantic and northern Gulf for possible tropical development through the holiday weekend. Storm clusters stalling along a front near the southern Atlantic coast could organize into the next named storm of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season, Tropical Storm Bertha. Every step on the trail brings you closer to where the clouds touch the mountains. Every step on the trails westward along the northern Gulf Coast instead, it gets another shot at strengthening. Either way, named storm or not, periods of heavy rain, gusty winds, rough surf, and dangerous rip currents are likely from the Carolinas down through Georgia and Florida and west into Louisiana and Texas. If your holiday plans involve the beach, this is the one to watch closely. While the East deals with heat and storms, the western quarter of the country will actually stay mostly dry, but that's its own problem. Extreme fire weather conditions are expected to fuel erratic wildfire growth, especially over the Great Basin and Intermountain region, and the smoke from those fires could reduce air quality and visibility not just in the west, but hundreds to thousands of miles downwind. Ongoing drought across parts of the west, the high plains and sections of the east may also force some towns and cities to restrict or cancel firework displays entirely. So if you're planning to catch a public show, it's worth double-checking that it's still happening. And if you're a soccer fan, this pattern is even affecting the World Cup. Heat, humidity and storm risk are all factors in matches happening over the holiday weekend, including one in Philadelphia on July 4th itself, and another near New York City on July 5th. So here's the bottom line for your 4th of July. Expect dangerous heat across the Midwest, South and Southwest. Know the signs of heat exhaustion and stay hydrated. Expect sudden rotating thunderstorms wrapping around that heat dome. If you hear thunder, get indoors immediately, because lightning can strike more than 10 miles from the storm producing it. And if you're anywhere near the Gulf or Atlantic coast, watch closely for Tropical Storm Bertha and stay out of rough surf and rip currents, even if it looks calm at the beach. I'll be tracking every update on this pattern through the entire holiday weekend, so make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on. You do not want to miss the next update. Stay safe out there and happy 4th of July.